SmackDown Hot Takes is where I ask your opinions, thoughts, and hot takes on the previous episode of SmackDown Raw PLEs. Starting off hot with Christian Jasso. Cody's so boring, man. He didn't even attack Kevin Owens later on in the show or even call him out in a promo. Bro gives us nothing every week. Here we've got Randy Orton, your best friend, getting annihilated, literally sent to the hospital, and your actions is to go with him? You're a great human being, Cody. You went with your buddy. That is the kind of boy that I would like my daughter to bring home to me and say, hey, I'm dating this guy. I'm like, wow, what a nice young gentleman. However, that is not the WWE champion that I want. If my WWE champion gets wronged in any way, shape, or form, or his friends and family gets wronged in any way, shape, or form, I want my WWE champion to be out for blood. Cody Rhodes should not have gone with Randy Orton, okay? He acted more like Miss Elizabeth than he did Stone Cold Steve Austin. Cody Rhodes should have been hunting Kevin Owens down the entire time. Or, let's just say he does go to the hospital with Randy. He should have drove back in ambulance and ran Kevin Owens down. Or, at the very least, yeah, cut a promo. Cut a promo with Randy Orton, in the hospital bed, just all laid out in the background, and Cody Rhodes being all mad and fired up saying, I'm coming for you, Kevin. You crossed the line here. But no, we got nothing. I hope he's okay. Here, Mr. Doctor, I'll close the ambulance door for you. Oh, Cody, you were doing so good. Deville Stewart, the OG Bloodline is back. We got 4v4 at WarGames, but we also need 5 members of the new Bloodline and the OG Bloodline. So I'm thinking Hikuleo in the new Bloodline, Zilla Fatu in the OG Bloodline. Those two, Hikuleo, Zilla Fatu, and there's also an Alliance out there right now that's signed with WWE. They're family members of the NOI family, so they can easily be inserted. So we could have 5v5, because that's what you traditionally have at WarGames. But I really hope that we just keep it 4v4 by introducing 2 members that are just complete unknowns to the WWE universe, like Zilla Fatu and Hikuleo. I think that would kind of take away from them, and we don't need that kind of, greenness in WarGames right now. Because, if you look at Solo's Bloodline, they're almost all new. If you really think about it, they haven't even been around for 1 year yet. So I would be okay with 4v4 in this WarGames. Jay in Love finally introducing a women's mid-card title. I'm hopeful for Chelsea Green or Meacham to win the title. Also, a lot of nostalgia tonight from the Bloodline reunion, and Roman still being caught in his ways. Yeah, Roman hasn't changed, guys, and I actually really like that because I fell in love with this jerk of a Roman, and he's still kind of a jerk, so I'm glad that he didn't just do a complete 360, 180, whatever you want to say, because now the fans cheer him. No, nothing has really changed for Roman. I do feel that the nostalgia was there crazy. The nostalgia definitely was there, and it was only 2 years ago. 2 years ago doesn't seem like long enough for nostalgia to really kick in, but I don't know, maybe we move in such a fast-paced environment that 2 years seems like a lifetime ago, but yeah, I was totally there with you. Ones in the air definitely brought me back to a time that was just like, it felt better. And it was just 2 years ago. And then to your point on the women's mid-card title, yeah, I actually want Chelsea Green to be the champion. I think she would be an amazing first champion for the U.S. title. So I'm with you, Jay in Love. And here's a hot take for you. I'm trying to bribe you guys to subscribe to the channel by giving away this belt. And, well, yeah, guilty. I don't care how I get you to subscribe, whether it's my awesome content or my horrible content but awesome belts. Whatever the case may be, I want to get to 10,000 subscribers so I can quit my day job, and I'll give away this belt. How will I choose the winner? Through a comment. I'll pick a random comment on a random video, give away the belt on a live stream, free shipping, free everything. Yeah, all you gotta do is subscribe, hit the bell notification, and comment. Anyways, next comment. Donatello Leonardo, who just became a member of the channel, so I really appreciate you, Donatello Leonardo. Also, Moneybird and Ryan's Wrestling, members of the channel. Love you guys. Okay, I'm officially in the OG reunion is being rushed camp. Yeah, a lot of people are saying that it's being rushed now, and yeah, kind of, sort of, but I'm also kind of, sort of willing to forgive it just because WarGames is here. I honestly feel if Crown Jewel hadn't happened, it almost like they jumped 1 or 2 weeks ahead and then they tried to backtrack a little, and it was literally because of Crown Jewel, and it's just an unfortunate situation, but that oil money, it's different. A little rushed, but I think they're making the most of it at the same time, because I was definitely satisfied walking out of that SmackDown episode, but Donatello Leonardo, totally valid and probably kind of true. Also said Roman's babyface character has 0 story arc. That's because I don't think Roman really is a babyface. I think we're just cheering him like a babyface. And then what's worse is Jay and Sami talk a big game, but then an hour later they're helping him out. Yeah, that's kind of realistic too. I'm hesitant to say this, but a lot of times in an abusive relationship, the person comes back. And it sucks, and they shouldn't, but Jay and Sami kind of are. Sami was just waiting for a glimpse of hope that he could get back into the Bloodline, and he is taking it. Whether or not he said, no, I'm done with it, there's a part of him that wants to be a part of it. Omega 1735, okay, the OG Bloodline reunion is cool and all, but Kevin Owens just hit a pile driver on WWE TV, and that might be the biggest shock of the year. Wow, it's so crazy that they can literally take something that you're not even thinking of, a pile driver, and get it so over in like 2 minutes of airtime. That pile driver was so put over by the announcers and Randy Orton and how he sold it that it's like the most dangerous move of all time. And literally on an AEW, Orange Cassidy is taking pile drivers on steel steps. It's insane what you can do with just actually acting like something is deadly and important. I'm all for it. Let's do that. Let's make some moves more dangerous than others, because I love the Canadian Destroyer, but I hate that it's not even a finisher anymore. And the pile driver, you get dropped on your head. That should be career ending. It could be career ending. In fact, Owen Hart, God bless his soul, he actually did a tombstone pile driver on Steve Austin. There was a botch, and that's the reason Steve Austin's career was cut so short. So we should treat the pile driver like it's deadly. It's crazy. The Bloodline reunion happened, and one of the biggest talking points is a pile driver. The smartest idiot with the greatest name, still love that name. That Sami reveal was so good. Lame ending, I think. Lame ending though, but wow, did that make my heart drop. 100%. I love that Sami is now back on the Bloodline. It was so great. You can watch my reaction video. My heart was in my throat. My heart was coming out my throat. I just adored everything. And when they all had the ones up, I'm a big story guy, a plot hole guy. Don't like plot holes, but for a moment, for a great moment, I didn't care. All I cared was that Roman, Sami, Jay, and Jimmy had the ones in the air. The only way it could have been better if the wise man had been there too. Damian King, it shouldn't be called the Women's U.S. Championship. It needs a new name. I agree, but I might be a little biased here because, I don't know, if it was the Women's Intercontinental title, which is probably coming down the road, maybe even this Monday, I probably don't want to care as much. But I've actually, believe it or not, I've never liked the name the U.S. title. I don't know why, but the U.S. title compared to the Intercontinental title, it feels, just like second rate, watered down. And that might be because I'm such a strong WWE guy, and WCW, for the most part, I only really watched WCW during the first 2 or 3 years of the NWO, but before and after that, they were just kind of like a second-rate promotion to me, so in my mind still, maybe the US title is just this second-rate title to me, so I kind of wish it was a different name, but that might be because of a bias that I have on being such a WWE fanboys. TTJC, honestly, looking back, Sami and Jay need to apologize to Roman. Seriously, all he did was scold them when they screwed up and not trust that Sami had his back over Kevin. At this point, the argument is, you hurt our feelings, we attacked you, and then you beat us up, now we want an apology. I love this comment. I definitely don't agree with it. This is like the most gaslit statement I have seen in a very long time, but I love it. I love that you have come to this conclusion. It is the exact opposite of how I feel, but that's okay. This is not an echo chamber. You are heard. So thank you. Thank you for that. I have nothing to say. I just don't agree with it. Honestly, you can just literally say, whatever you said, the opposite is how I feel, and that would be my statement. So let's just leave it at that. Candy Marmain, I really hope the fifth guy is not Cody Rhodes. I swear to God, if Triple H puts Cody in the Bloodline storyline, then Triple H will prove to us that Cody needs the Bloodline to stay relevant. Whew, so many things. How do I say this? But, oh man. Maybe he does. Maybe he does need it to stay relevant. But you know what? Sting, you could say Sting or DDP needed the NWO to stay relevant. It's not necessarily a bad thing that the Bloodline is Cody's, like, Joker if he was the Batman. I agree, though. I don't want Cody in this Bloodline. But it would make sense. Two ways for Cody to make sense in the Bloodline storyline. One, The Rock reappears. The Rock comes in and he joins WarGames. I don't think that'll happen, even though he did make an appearance, the second to last PLE, but nah, don't see it happening. I think they would have built it up and hyped it up a lot more. And the second one is if Kevin Owens actually makes a deal with the devil and sides with Solo and says, you know what? Maybe I was wrong about the Bloodline. Maybe I just hate Roman. And then Cody jumps in. Both scenarios, though, well, maybe the Rock scenario I would like, but nah, I do want Cody to stay out of this, so I'm really hoping Triple H just leaves them apart. Joe, Solo will introduce new member of the Bloodline next SmackDown, Hikuleo the Giant. And finally, I love you so no. I actually thought it might happen this SmackDown, that they would introduce someone, and I just don't think they're gonna. I just think it'll be too rushed. We don't need to put Hikuleo in a spot like WarGames that will, like, I don't know. What if he screws it completely up and just, it ruins his career? You know, he's just gonna jump right into the main event with 8 All-Stars? Yeah, no, let's just hold off. Let's just do 4v4. DeVille Stewart, the OG Bloodline is back. We got 4v4 at WarGames, but we also need 5 members of the new Bloodline. Okay, going off of the last one, the OG Bloodline. So I'm thinking maybe Hikuleo in the new Bloodline and Zilla Fatu in the OG Bloodline. If you guys are not familiar with the Anoa'i family, they've got 3 people just waiting in the wings. There's Zilla Fatu, who is Umaga. Pau Samoa! I love Umaga. Sorry. Umaga's kid from way back when, he's on the independent scene though right now, and so he's not signed with WWE, but then there's Hikuleo, who's like a giant. He's also a brother of the Tungans, Tungaloa and Tamatonga, and he's actually signed and part of NXT Developmental, but he's not made an appearance, and rumor has it Lance Anoa'i just signed as well. So we have these Bloodline members just waiting to be inserted, but again, I just don't think it's the right time. Let's not rush it. Let's not rush it for the sake of rushing it, and they'll get overshadowed anyways. How are we going to really introduce 2 new people during a full-blown original Bloodline reunion? They would be too overshadowed, overlooked. It's not the time. It's just not the time. Tis Mickey. Okay, so I love the Bloodline and actually cried seeing them all back together. I love that. I love that you cried. That's wrestling. Just it brings out some weird emotion in us. But I gotta acknowledge the elephant in the room. Roman hasn't apologized to anyone, and everyone is just running to help him and putting their ones up like he didn't just cuss them out an hour before. You know what, Tiz Mickey? This is like, I know the last video I was like on board with you 100%, and I'm on board with you 100% right now too, and I believe there was another video, I can't remember what it was, but I think you and I, we are definitely on the same wavelength. I'd be interested to know how long you've been watching wrestling, because I've been watching for 35 years, and you and I, we think almost identical, but yeah, you are so right. He didn't apologize to no one, and everybody's like, yup. And I'm not gonna lie, I was also like, yup. I guess I don't need an apology. We need an apology. Monster Jam Brawny. I think the Women's United States Championship is a horrible idea because it's going to hold some women back from winning world championships and make them forever stuck in the mid-card. I guess that is one way of looking at it. I mean, you could be like, I don't know. I just don't see it. I like mid-cards titles being stepping stones. And sometimes you can see how they will hold a championship. Look at LA Knight. Maybe they were on the fence about LA Knight, but now they see him, how he carries the US title. They're going to be like, yeah, that guy, he can do it. We now believe in him. Just like Gunther. Maybe they were a little uniffy. Can Gunther hang in the WWE style? Can he really do it? Yeah, he's great in the ring, but what about his character work? Let's try him as the Intercontinental title, and now look where he is. So, I don't know. I think Monster Jam Brawny, I hear what you're saying. I definitely do, but I think it's going to be a bonus. I think it's going to be a positive, because another thing that happens, especially in the women's division, is that if there's not a title involved, the women don't have a storyline. With the exception of Chelsea Green, every women's prominent match, there's some kind of title revolving around it. And yeah, so I'm hoping that you're wrong, but I understand your fears. Southpaw Jimmy again. WWE has a bad habit of cutting good talent just because they fail to come up with good stories for them. That is a true statement. They definitely did that with Damian Sandow a long time ago, and I would say even Bobby Lashley. However, I think what you're referring to is the recent releases of Baron Corbin and two other people. I apologize, I'm forgetting their names right now. It's been a long day at work. I am filming this with very little sleep. We have wrestlers who, they're capable, but if they're not getting the storylines, why is it the wrestler's fault and not the writer's fault? Maybe the writers need to be replaced and not the wrestlers. But that said, some wrestlers, it's a business, and it's a catch-22, and sometimes maybe the wrestler does need to go. Jay and Love. Randy being written off was a good way to enhance the feud between him and Cody. I'm excited for that feud. Yeah, pull the trigger. We need to see it. Jamie K. WWE should officially always reveal new titles during backstage segments or in video package. Every reveal to a live crowd has been underwhelming. Fair statement. I don't really have anything to say about that. I guess I didn't really notice. I think if they had revealed the women's titles instead of the Crown Jewels titles, it would have been a bigger deal. Because I remember watching thinking, oh my god, they're doing it! They're revealing a women's title, and then it was the Crown Jewel title. I think maybe had it been the women's title, the mid-card title, it would have actually been met with more applause than anything. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe you're right. Jamie K, I kind of wish they put out the Bloodline reunion a week longer. It would have been nice to see Roman make a surprise appearance on Raw and try to make amends to Sami and Jay. Yeah, it would have been nice, but Roman's not going to Raw. He's just staying on SmackDown. He'll come and go as he pleases, and right now, Raw does not please him. Can't pronounce the name. I'm okay with the OG Bloodline reuniting this fast, but bro, Roman didn't even apologize to anyone. What a jerk. The entire time, everyone came running to his side. Awful writing. I honestly, I'm not sure if it's awful writing. Roman is actually being true to who he was before the fans started cheering him. Not much has changed other than I acknowledge Jimmy. That's almost the only thing that has changed when he says, I acknowledge Jimmy, and he's holding back his tongue just a little, but not even that much. Might be realistic writing for a change, because a lot of times, like, once the heel becomes a good guy, suddenly they're all about everybody. Roman still doesn't really care about what the crowd thinks. But yeah, I get what you're saying. He is kind of a jerk still, and you know what? I love that jerk. Rafael Ada. Is it just me, or is the Bloodline reunion a little rushed? The angle of Roman's ego making it hard for others to follow him was good, but could have developed Roman's character more as he slowly swallowed his pride and asked for help. You're right, it is a little rushed. I think they should have started this pre-Bad Blood, but it is what it is at this point. But definitely, you are not the only one. In fact, that is a reoccurring theme in this hot take. Is it rushed? Is it rushed? Is it rushed? Neville Stewart, Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso. They have reunited for the first time in almost 2 years. We are so back. 100, fire, fire, exclamation, exclamation. Agreed. Got the nation. WWE introducing U.S. Women's Mid-Card Championships. It's historic. They finally listened to us. The like of Meacham and Naomi. Also Chelsea Green with her pale Piper Niven will shine now. They've been putting people over. Thank you, WWE. You are awesome. Now we await an IC Women's Mid-Card Championship to be revealed on Monday Night Raw. You know what? I like this statement. Thank you, WWE. I agree with Got the Nation. Thank you very much. You listened, and we appreciate being heard. Candy Marmain. Triple H keep proving to us why he is a bad booker. There is no need for 5-on-5 at WarGames. It will feel forced, and Triple H better not involve Cody in the OG Bloodline. I don't like Cody Rhodes. I appreciate the fact that you say I don't like Cody Rhodes. It shows us where you're coming from, actually. And that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. We don't need 5-on-5. I agree with you there. Sometimes if it just calls for 4-on-4, just have it 4-on-4. I don't need a forced 5-on-5. It's perfect the way it is. The thing that you said here, though, Triple H keeps proving to us why he's a bad booker. Nah, I don't. I think that's a little unfair. Triple H is doing a great bang-up job. You want to see bad booking? Go to 2019 WWE. That's bad booking. Triple H is doing a fantastic job. Is he perfect? No. Chad Gable, anyone? Yeah, totally dropped the ball on Chad Gable. So, he's not a perfect booker, but I think he's a phenomenal booker nonetheless. Candy Marmain, for the most part, I agree with what you're saying, but Triple H a bad booker, I think that's a stretch. I can't pronounce the name, but hardly a unique opinion in this comment section. But yeah, rushing the Bloodline reunion makes the Usos and Sami look like complete doormats. I think it made Jay look like the biggest doormat of everybody because he has completely changed how he is when he goes to Roman. You don't get a lot of the yeet from Jay Uso right now. He's more like the Bloodline Jay Uso. Sami's coming from a place of looking out for Jay, and honestly, I don't believe Sami ever wanted to leave the Bloodline to begin with. But Jay, yeah, I think Jay's the one that this hurts the most, but I also think he's the one that can recover the best out of it because of his connection with the crowd. SRP. Randy should return as a heel and cost Cody his WWE title match against The Rock at Raw. Netflix. Ooh, man, you are just going right to saying that The Rock and Cody are not even happening at WrestleMania, but at Raw Netflix. That would be a huge get for Netflix, but I don't think it's happening, and I don't know, it would seem weird for Randy to cost Cody the title when, if you look at all their vignettes together, Randy's always looking at that world title, so even though his hatred of Cody at that point might want him to cost him matches, I don't think he wants to cost him the world title because I think Randy wants the world title. Yang Akata Lane. I'm not okay with the fact that Bayley feels like she won a championship by defeating Candice, yet she's already established a decorated former women's champion. She should have put over Candice. I agree, but to be honest with you, I don't really like Bayley. I don't know what it is, but I've never really connected with Bayley. So I'm coming from a place that I kind of wish you would have lost to, because I am actually digging Candice. Candice also, just for the longest time, I had no feelings about her up until recent. And I'm liking this new dynamic of Candice, Nia, Tiffany. So I think a win would have been good for her, but I understand, though, that, you know, Bayley's a main eventer. I guess I get both sides of the fence here. If it was me, yeah, let Candice win. But if I was more of a Bayley lover, I probably would have been like, oh, no, that was the right call too. So I don't know. Hopefully in the loss, Candice still looked good though. Cruzito Laura, they need to use Dom as the championship belt and pass him around. Yeah, honestly, I mean, Dom, the ladies love him. We have Rhea, we have Liv, and we even have Tiffany wanting to get a little dirty. Like, what does he have that I don't? Come on, Dom. Sell the secret. Sell it. I want it. Please let me know because, wow, man. Good for you. That Latino heat. I cannot pronounce this name. Why is Sami Zayn in the Bloodline again? I thought it was a family feud. Yep, that's the argument. Roman's like, he's not blood. Jimmy's like, he's not blood. But Jay's like, just because he's not blood doesn't mean he's not family. So it's all your perception. There will be people who will say, hey, you know, my best friend has been more of a brother to me than my actual brother. So, you know, it's all your perception. Is Sami family? Well, Jay seems to think so. Negligence. I'll try to keep this short. Sami adds so much to the bloodline. Solo promos are good. Roman is still arrogant a-hole despite knowing he needs help. Jimmy is the glue because without him, there's no Jay. And without Jay, no Sami. You know what? I'm going to leave that statement as is. His statement are my thoughts, basically. At PT5728, is him. No, Carmelo is him. Where's Carmelo? Carmelo should have been on the show. I get what you're saying. I was just kind of kidding with you, though. Cal 12. They stressing Jay out again. They stressing me out, too. They are stressed. This whole thing stressed me out. Is Sami gonna join or not? I was watching Mr. Sante Zap video, and he was like, in no world did I think Sami was gonna join Solo Sikoa. I guess I'm an idiot. I guess I'm a mark. Because I thought for a second that Sami was going to kick Roman in the face. I thought for a second that Sami was going to turn and join Solo Sikoa, which, low-key, I would have actually enjoyed. But, yeah, you know, it's all stressing me out. Jay's stressed out. I'm stressed out. This whole bloodline thing is a roller coaster of emotions for me. Look, as Neo, I have no hot take. Just appreciate Randy Orton selling, always going the extra mile to make it look real. Oh, yeah. That pile driver, the pile driver that has not really been sold like that in forever, it could not have been put over as dangerous as it was had it not been sold as bad as it was, especially coming from Randy Orton. Randy Orton looked like he was paralyzed. It looked legit. Randy Orton selling is something. I said this on another video one time, is that we never really appreciated Randy's selling because he was always a bad guy. Career-wise, he's been mainly a bad guy, so now that he's a face, he actually has to, like, take a beating, and he can sell really, really good. Chris Morgan, if Randy comes back with a shaved head, you know it's on. He's kicking field goals. Oh, yeah. Shaved head Randy? Only caring about the world title Randy? Yeah, we get that Randy. If that Randy comes back, everybody's on the list. Everybody better watch out because he's going to be punt kicking you here, punt kicking you there. It's done. It's over. That Randy... Woo, buddy. Mr. Brownie God. Not a hot take, but hear me out. Jay pins Solo, and Solo thinks about acknowledging Jay, adding more tension to the original bloodline. That's interesting. Okay, you know, I don't know if you were going here, but this kind of led me down a rabbit trail in my own head as I was reading your statement. So, Roman challenged Solo for the, you know, for the bloodline, basically, the Ulafala, and a singles one. And Solo was like, nah, let's make it a WarGames match, right? So what if that stipulation is still in play, though? But now it's WarGames. So instead of 1v1 for the Tribal Chief, it's 4v4, and whoever wins is the Tribal Chief. And we all expect Roman to pin Solo or Solo to pin Roman, but what if Jay pins Solo? And now it's like, wait a second, does that make Jay the new tribal leader? Whoa, how about that? So yeah, great, interesting, thought-provoking comment. Cam Nami, Roman has shown he didn't change much, and until then, I think the Thug Line should be winning. Love the name the Thug Line. And yeah, he really hasn't changed much. He really hasn't changed much. He acknowledged Jimmy. That's about it. Christian Jasso, I want Naomi to win the Women's United States Championship. Naomi would actually be a great choice. I personally want Chelsea Green to get the nod, but if they do what they did with the world title, and they gave it to someone who was very established and who could make it strong right from the get-go, Naomi actually might be the best pick. If we take all feelings out of it, because my gut is I want Chelsea Green to get it. But if I were to just be like, okay, logically, how can we make this title as strong as possible right from the get-go? Naomi might be the best pick because she is a main eventer, but she's kind of like on the low end of the main event scene. So that means she would be on the very highest end of the mid-card scene. And because she's so established, oh man, I hate to say this, but Christian Jasso, you might have just convinced me that Naomi is a better pick than Chelsea Green. My heart wants Chelsea Green, but my brain says Naomi's the better pick. And those are your SmackDown hot takes. What did you guys think of my thoughts, or your thoughts even? Did you think that somebody had a really good hot take? Because there was a couple in there that kind of swayed my opinion even. I appreciate that. You guys have the greatest insights. Please, please, please keep it up. I'll see you for the Monday Night Raw hot takes and any video in between that. But yeah, appreciate every single one of you. Comment below for your chance to win the belt. And guys, girls, have yourselves a great day.